Okay, I'm affected by mental illness of over 40 years with a daughter who started at age 13. And we have been through the dysfunctional mental health community, and it's very frustrating. But when you start at age 13 and she ends up in the psych ward for 6 weeks in the 8th grade, and then I have to take her out of high school at 16 because she can't go to school, and then she gets her GED at 19 because all her friends are going to college. So that was a good thing. And then she started doing like Butler and UIndy a little bit, and then again her junior year of college, she couldn't go to school anymore. So she had to take herself out. She almost died from the H1N1 pneumonia. They put her in a medically induced coma for 2 weeks, no psych meds. That was an interesting experience because that particular ICU had never experienced anyone with mental illness, so this was fun for all concerned. When she came out, her brain was changed. Then she had 3 more psychotic breaks, serious. And by then, even though I had my own therapist, I had a good husband, a good friend to talk to, which a lot of people don't, I was at my wit's end. So I came to Nami so angry I could have chewed nails when I landed at that support group.
So before Nami, I didn't really have much of a voice as far as being able to share my story and use it for good. And through Nami, I've been able to grow as a leader and be able to use my story to help other people and provide hope to other individuals.
And came here as a refugee, so that was very traumatic. And then, you know, a few years down, I started having these symptoms of depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder. I felt I suffered very silently, and I found, when I found Nami, it was like opening the door to that mental jail that I was in, because I truly was afraid to speak up, because I felt that people will, label me as unworthy and sick. And because of the stigma that it's in here in the society against the people with mental health illness, and not really understanding what it is, how it affects people. And I would say that all around the world, pretty much the same issue, the same problem. So I found this platform to speak up, and I engaged in various programs that they have, advocacy initiatives.
I think the major need in our community is a lack of resources. And that is where Nami bridges the gap. We come in and we provide very unique resources that are unlike most of what we see here in Indianapolis.
Within our community, we have to begin to be bold, be champions, begin to change the narrative of the story so that our people can get the help that they need, so that they can become more productive, so that they can come to a place where normal used to look like this, but now it looks like this, and it's still great. And it's acceptable. And you don't have to fear me because of what I have. Just embrace me. But you will if you understand me.
At Nami Greater Indianapolis, we are dedicated to improving the lives of persons and family members affected by mental illness through education, support, and advocacy. There is a lot of stigma when it comes to mental illness and how people really understand what that means. And so the problem is really putting a face to a disorder so that people really understand that it is 1 in 5 people have a mental health condition at some point in their lives, and it's really more common than people realize. And it's not just a scary monster in some room, that we are all impacted by mental health and mental illness. And getting that message out there, and getting the message out there that we as Nami are filling in the gap to support people, their families, and people that are going through it, so that they can really find a place, find a community, and not feel alone.
The support group I landed in, it's all confidential. You're finally talking to people who understand. You walk the walk, they walk the walk. You can share bizarre things that you cannot talk to anyone else about, and it's very freeing to be able to do that. You get suggestions from them, you make friendships, and it's really a great group to be part of. So I'm very proud to be a facilitator now, to be able to share and pay it forward.
I've had the opportunity to be one of the facilitators of one of the groups here in Indianapolis. Being a facilitator, I feel it's very important for me to be a peer as well, And the facilitator part of me needs to be nurtured as a peer, and I can not only guide the people around the table, but I can be guided as well. What I say when I open up a meeting, it is our group.
Within the family to family, like I said, there are about 25 people there. You're all sharing from your gut. I think the best thing I got from that class was I learned to grieve. I had been so caught up in what was going on in the crisis in her life. I really didn't stop to think of the losses that she had gone through and I had gone through, because she's not ever going to be normal to deal with the normal things that most parents would expect, your child to have. And that grieving process was very beneficial, because we all need to get there someday, and mine just happened to be triggered in that particular class.
The cool thing about Nami is that a lot of it is peer-led. So a lot of times the issue in the mental health world is there's an individual that is a mental health professional, oftentimes not with a lived experience, and tends to be a gap there, and being able to understand where the other person is coming from and really feel that with them. And I think that's where our programs come in, where with the peer-led aspect of it, we're able to let people know that they're not alone and say, hey, I've been through this as well, I get it. Something else that is really cool that we are starting to do is addressing specifically youth and minorities as well, both. Through the programming that we've been able to expand, we've been able to go beyond just the typical and the stigma or the typical adult resources such as support groups that you see. We've been able to go into schools and reach children that otherwise may not know what mental illness is. We've also been able to go into minority communities and bring resources to areas where they don't have those resources, and really, again, be able to bridge that gap for people.
Nami has opened a door that we didn't even know existed as it pertains to mental illness and the various types of mental illness, the various types of programs even that offer support, offer education, offer hope and understanding. So I would say that it's different because it removed all the chaos, the fear, the uncertainties, and gave us an avenue where we could be functional and productive and create a new set of normal within our family, within our community, within our individual lives.
I feel like I have a new purpose when I honestly had given up hope. My son had given up hope, and now he's on his own. So it's impacted me in so many ways that I could go on and on and on.
I learn more about myself, and I learn more about my family through the interaction of people around the table, and knowing that, oh my God, I can share what's going on with me with people of like-mindedness. And maybe they have something that might work for me. Not that what worked for them is going to work for me, but if we exchange ideas, there's hope involved.
With Nami, I am in a few different leadership roles, which has helped me grow in my confidence as an individual with a mental illness, and be able to realize that there's nothing wrong with having a mental illness, and that I can use my story to inspire other people so that they can feel empowered as well.
My family is extremely different today. And the hope that I can share is that my daughter is now in recovery. I told you kind of a sad journey, and she's just not in school, she's not doing anything. Well, 3 years ago, she went back to the University of Indianapolis, went to night school, got her credits together, graduated summa cum laude. What I have found through the years is we become more resilient. I used to be a pussycat, I am now a pit bull. And I advocate as best I can for my daughter, and now I'm advocating for Nami.